Hi, everyone. We have an incredible privilege and honor today to be talking to Greg Sarris, chairman of Federated Indians of Graton Rancheria, the operators of a beautiful, beautiful property just north of San Francisco that I had a pleasure of visiting a few years ago, back when we were hosting gigs in San Francisco, for those who remember. Back then, it was Greg actually who gave us the tour together with his team. It was really incredible to be able to listen to Greg tell us the story of the casino development and really to understand how the casino development has been the backdrop of personal stories of many of the tribal members, of the tribe's strive and struggle for recognition and self-sufficiency, of the evolution of a community around the casino. So when I was putting together the ideas for this ICE 365 Tribal Gaming content series, I just really thought Greg's and Graton's story would be a great one to tell as the international gaming community is trying to embrace some of the key notions of tribal gaming. So Greg, thank you so much for giving us the little time that you have, and I know you don't have a lot, as you're trying to take the tribe and the casino out of the global pandemic. And let's actually start with that question. Obviously, the land-based industry has been affected by the closures, by capacity limitations over the last year, although we know that some of the regional properties might have done better. How has the last year been for you, and are you coming out of it weaker or stronger?
The last year has certainly been stressful. We were closed, completely shut down for 92 days, 3 months. And we were able to keep all of our salaried people covered. And we were able to keep the benefits. You know, all of the folks that work for us 20 hours or more a week, they get full coverage that they don't have to pay out of the health coverage that they don't have to pay out of their paycheck. And we didn't know, of course, how long we could afford to do that because no money was coming in. But we were fortunate to be able to do that. And then when we reopened, we only reopened at 25% capacity. We had to spend a lot of money on health safety measures. And so, you know, putting up plexiglass between all the machines at the card tables, all of that. It was a lot of work. Thermal machines at the doors, hiring an extra team of what we call safety ambassadors who did nothing but walk around the floor, making sure people kept their masks over their nose. It was a bit of a struggle, but we came out of it very strong, even working at 25% capacity. We've just heard last Wednesday that we can go now to 50% in our restaurants and so forth. But we're, of course, going to keep the safety measures in place. Our bars are not open because of the crowding and so forth, but you can get drinks, walk-up drinks. When we reopened, we found that, in fact, we were doing very well. The bottom line stayed strong. Even at 25% capacity. Now, in all honesty, a lot of that had to do, we weren't doing big concerts and things like that anymore. So a lot of our costs that are associated with your concerts and your things like that and big shows was no longer there. So you're just, again, doing your basic casino. Of course, the food was there. Our restaurants were there at a limited capacity. And our slots and tables at about 25%, as I said. But we found that we were doing very well. And then, you know, another big change came. We had a management agreement with a Vegas company, and that ended in February. So during this whole time, Ella, we're going through a transition to self-management. So that a lot was happening. And one of the things that, again, has a lot to do with who we are as a tribe, as a people, we always fought very hard to make sure that there was what we call dignity in the workplace. The mission of this tribe is social justice and environmental stewardship, not just for us, but for Indian and non-Indian alike. And of course, it must start at home. So we have over 2,000 team members. And, you know, we thought, do we have the money now? And since the management decisions are ours after the management company left, do we have the money now to do this? And I promised everybody that, we're going to give you raises and so forth. And so I sat down with our new general manager and our marketing folks, and we spent a lot of long evenings going over numbers. What could we afford to give? Because remember, I have to also make sure that we have plenty of money to support the tribal programs, the per capita for our nearly 1,500 tribal citizens. So there's a lot of juggling that I had to do in thinking about the money and how much we could give. One of the complicating factors, Ewa, is that we're in Sonoma County, Marin County, north of San Francisco, and the real estate here, just to rent an apartment, is probably the highest in the world, among the highest. So we found that we had people that were commuting 2 hours to work just for the benefits. And my heart was breaking. What good are benefits if people can't pay the rent, can't eat? So in the back of my mind, the last few years is we've got to do something when and if we can. So we sat down again and spent time looking at the numbers, the money, and so we came up with something that it turns out to be quite extraordinary. In the United States, I believe the minimum wage is $9, and of course, with the relief package, the COVID relief package that was passed, they did not touch the minimum wage in this country, which has not been touched since 2009, right? And I believe the minimum wage is like $7 or $9. So what we did is we raised for the for the tip positions, a $2.50 raise an hour. So it's the starting minimum wage for a tip position, that is a bartender, beverage server, and valet, would be $17.50 an hour. For the non-tip positions, that's the porters, your housekeepers, and so forth, $18.50 an hour, plus these benefits. And for all our salaried people, and we have about 900 people on approximately 900 on salaries, we gave them a 10% raise across the board. This has made national news. The unions have never seen anything like it. They say it's historic. And I'm proud in that sense that we were able to do this. The team members now are being able to buy homes in this area. The trickle-down effect in the larger community has been amazing. Of course, it also raises the bar for other businesses to also raise the minimum wage, because everybody wants to come to Graton. And Ewa, it makes, besides it being the right thing to do, it makes perfect business sense, because in actuality, the money you spend in a large organization like a large casino, with the turnover of team members when they leave and then having to recruit and train new team members, we find that if people are getting these incredible salaries, first of all, you have no problem recruiting people. Everybody wants to work here, and everybody wants to stay here, so they do their best. On top of this, to further incentivize our folks, all of our team members, every quarter, if you don't have any marks against you and you've done your job well and been good to guests and all of that, you get a $1,000 bonus every quarter, for a total of $4,000 a year on top of these raises. So we further incentivize people to work. And what a happy place this casino has been. So first of all, we've done the right thing morally, I believe, and that is pay people well and give them a living wage here. Secondly, the trickle-down effect, it's been great for our business. We no longer have in HR the problems that you would have recruiting people in often low-paying jobs, as they often are in casinos. And thirdly, we've become a model of how to do business in this country. As I mentioned, national news, Lester Holt just did a piece on Graton comparing us to the rest of the United States. And I'm very proud. I believe that dignity in the workplace, dignity for all people, is the right thing to do. It's been a rough year, but we've come out on top and as a model. Luckily, we've been able to do that. But yes.
Thank you, and it's really amazing to hear that Graton has been an example, prime example of how business should be done, not just for tribal gaming, not for gaming, whether it's tribal or commercial, but just really for the whole of business, as you say.